Hey everybody, this is Audi, owner and operator of Modern Retro Radio. And as the title says, got a little bit of some big news about the future of the station and this channel. Um, I grew up in the Southern Baptist Church, and the Baptist Church, and when people, when they enter the ministry, they say, I've been called to preach. Well, I guess you could say, I've been called to audit. I had 7 great years running Modern Retro Radio as a music station, and I am considering resuming it down the road. But right now, everything is on pause because I want to take things into a new direction. As a lot of you all know, I'm into the agorist movement and the parallel society movement, volunteerism. I just have zero faith in government. However, I am interested in government enough to at least hold them by their own rules. And so when we are violated by government, it's usually in the process of them violating their own rules. And I've befriended several First Amendment activists and cop watchers over the last 5 years or so. But the guy that you see here on your screen is a person who is numero uno. He is the person I respect the most. We've gotten to become, I would say, friends, brothers, and I love his work. After you're done watching this, go to his channel. You'll see what I'm talking about, and he's very insightful. Everybody calls him San the Man, SJVT, but his channel, he's one of the OGs of the First Amendment activism movement, San Joaquin Valley Transparency. David, thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me on. Yeah, I do consider us friends, brothers. I'll say this: I wouldn't have continued to talk to you. Uh, I don't believe this long if you would not have really good opinions, ideas, and an understanding of what it is I do. Not just myself, but the rest of the community. You seemed to know a lot about a lot. There's people that come in and they don't really know a lot about what's happened, who some of the activists are. You seem to know a lot, and and I think you see through a lot of BS. And I think you understand how important it is to hold government accountable, and I think that's a really good thing about you, and that's why I've continued to speak to you because you're insightful as well. So.
Well, here's what this movement has taught me: how little I knew my rights before I started watching this content. Government's worst nightmare is a country where everybody knows and exercises their rights. That's a lot of how we got here. We got here from trusting fraudulent politicians, and they were just chipping away at our constitutional rights more and more. So I'm just going to ask you really just one question. But what I plan to do with the channel, YouTube channel, I'm also going to create a Rumble channel so I can have conversations with people where the content is really spicy, because YouTube, their algorithms will, YouTube doesn't really like a lot of truth. So, we have to be ginger with our words. Is that a good way to put it? Okay. But I'm not going to be just a laptop activist. I am going to go out and I am going to um, exist in public with a camera, because that's basically what government has a problem with: existing in public with a camera. And I'm going to do that. And I'm also going to do some commentary and stuff. So, what do you think about that, sir?
Yeah, when we talked about you kind of turning your channel over to do more activism, and I think that's a great idea because, for one, like I said, you've been following a long time. You've been in the comment section, in my comment section for years. When I finally started talking to you on the phone, you know a lot about a lot. And I think if anybody should start a channel, it's somebody who understands
Hmm.
certain things. There's not a lot of people in this community right now that even understands what it is to be an agorist, the difference between statism and voluntarism. This puts you on on a next level when you understand certain things of how governments operate and stuff like that. And I think that puts you, um, I would say, like, understanding wise, it puts you ahead of the game. So I think that maybe you'll be able to, use your wisdom, um, your your great demeanor about you, your positive energy, and everything that is good about you, and bring it to this community. And I think the people are going to benefit from you. You know, and I've offered you my um, whatever it is that I can do to help, regarding tips, whether you want to do it as a laptop activist, like you said. I've never heard that before, but
I just made
you
it
know,
up.
that's
I
funny.
just made it up.
Yeah, if there's anything that I can do to help, even if you wanted to do just that, I think you'd be good at it.
Well, I'm
And
gonna give a
good,
shout out. The reason I want to do commentary because I'm a big fan of Here's the Deal or Brian
right,
from Impact Flicks. You know, I don't agree with him 100% of the time, but his
right.
commentary is so spot on, and he educates people, and he basically sees government pretty much the same way we do. But I really believe that it is inherently corrupt. But the very least we can do is hold government accountable to its own rules. So the first time I get out there with a camera, I don't know where I'm going. I got a couple spots in mind. But what's your advice for me the first time that I make the choice to exist in public with a camera?
So, not to put anyone down, but it's some people are really good at, you know, doing police accountability videos from behind the computer.
Hmm.
But I think there's like some kind of credibility. I don't want to call it street cred, because it's kind of similar, but it's different. But I think having this credibility by going out there and putting your ass on the line, gives you, I think, I don't know, I guess that credibility, it feels good to be out there and being fearless and standing in front of cops, and questioning their authority.
And I'm
Um,
prepared for that. And I've watched so much of this content. I also know if I'm ever recording a traffic stop, I know I'm not going to fall for that trap where cop number two distracts me while cop number one is violating a
right.
traveler's rights. I
Mm,
also know that government has this American Stasi out there. I know they have a lot of people posing to be ordinary citizens who are going to act like they're local members of the community, and they're just so outraged that you're in our city recording us. So I know crisis
mm,
actors are a thing. I know provocateurs are a thing. Agitators are a thing. And I tell people all the time, don't take the bait. And I'm going to take my own advice. There are a lot of people out there who are taking money covertly from the state to undermine their own liberty. And I will never understand sellouts like that. And so whenever I get any content, you're going to be the first to see it. And I'm giving you permission now to say, hey, man, you're screwing up, or you did that wrong, or you went in too hard on that person. Or, you may say it's too boring. You're not having any encounters. I'm giving you permission to be my my shaman, my mentor, my guru.
yeah. Rest in peace, Jay Surreal Camera. Jay from Jay Surreal Camera. That's one thing we talked about is like, we'll give each other advice and also let each other know when we're doing something wrong. I'll do my best. Sometimes I tend to piss people off if I give them my opinion or something. But I do my best to try to, lead people down the right path. The right path. Like, for instance, one thing I personally don't like or don't care for are like private businesses, people eating and shit like that. I mean, if you're gonna do like a farmer's market or a private business, I guess at least try to do it respectfully. We're trying to win over the people, not make them hate, the First Amendment. Um,
Yeah, I
but
consider those. If there's such a thing as people who are going after clicks and views, it's probably them. But at the end of the day, these people still may call the police, and a police interaction may happen. So it's still an opportunity for an education to occur. But yeah,
right,
going out
right,
to a
right,
restaurant and filming people eating on a patio, yeah, legally you can do it. But I'm not
right,
interested in that. I'm not
right.
interested in that.
I mean, to me, it's like anybody that wants to do it, that's their free will, right? The
Right.
right to do so. Who am I to tell them not to?
Now, no one
I
needs to
don't.
go to jail for that. No one needs to go to
Right.
jail for that
I
because you can't
also,
dress.
I think. I think I guess me personally, I try to keep the original premise of a First Amendment audit was to hold government accountable, going to the government agencies and holding them accountable. To
Yeah.
me, recording people is like paparazzi, right? So, like I always said, it's to me that's more along the lines of like average Joe paparazzi, but
Mhm.
they create those videos and then they put First Amendment auditing all over everything, and I think it kind of has just turned it into like something else that I don't believe what it was the original premise of that was. And
Yeah.
me personally, I try to take myself out of that and just keep the original premise of what a First Amendment audit was. I have spoken to people on a personal level behind the scenes, and they try to tell me like, let's go do some banks and let's go do this and that. And I'm like, no, I'm cool, man. Like, you guys go do that, go ahead and go do it. But me personally, I just want to stay away from that. Like, I want to
Yeah.
continue to hold government accountable. I think it's important to like hold government accountable. And I think if anything, if First Amendment audits are advancing, I think it's more along the lines of going to city council meetings, getting to know the council members, getting to talk to, trying to find out, distinguish which ones are the good ones and the bad ones. And
There are no
also,
good ones. There are no good ones, but anyway, there might be.
right,
Well,
right,
that brings us to because I promised I wouldn't keep it more than 5 minutes, but we've already
right,
gone over. But that's why I'm renamed the channel. We got a call
right,
because no matter where you are recording, when police
right,
show up and try to ID you when no
right,
without
right,
probable cause, one of the guaranteed things they're going to say is, "We got a call," as
right,
if we got a call suddenly nullifies the Constitution. It
right.
doesn't, and that's what
Yep.
people need to know.
I do have a couple quick tips. I promised I would give some tips.
Yep.
I give this often, but I think this is important because I think it's helped me along the way. Is um, in reality, you don't need a nice camera. A lot of people think you have to go buy a nice camera. You can, maybe it'll help. Go get some boom mics, and I mean, you could fucking hire a whole damn production crew if you want. But I
Oh, that'll
think,
make it hurt more when the police steal your stuff.
yeah, yeah, I think just a good phone is
Yeah.
good enough. I would say maybe even two phones.
Yeah.
I have a shit ton of cameras. All right, I bought cameras, Zoom, Sony Zoom cameras, and all kinds of shit.